What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy C-Dub, aka Whit, coming at you guys with another California bicycle racing category 4 or 5 race. And this is CBR number 6 of 7. And as you see, we are just getting started. Additionally, you see there it is wet, inclement weather. So it was raining off and on throughout the race, as well as it was cold. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for clicking the vid. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch yet another Crit Wit video. This video is going to be roughly just over 23 minutes, so I ask that you would get your beverage of choice and your snack of choice and get comfortable. If you're on a trainer, I ask that you would dial up your numbers and get in that sweet spot, and let's get this ride in. This ride is interesting because of the fact I had 3 races today on this particular day, and this was the first of the 3. To include, this was my first time this year, 2019, actually racing in the rain. So cornering, as we go through turn number 3 right here, cornering was something that I had to figure out. Because again, riding or racing in the rain, I ride in the rain consistently. I'm not afraid of it at all, but actually racing and not knowing how fast we will be going through the turns, I had to take it just a little bit easy until I got comfortable going through the turns. To add to that, the PSI that I had in my tires was about 80 PSI. This was in the front and in the rear. And to add to more information, I had recently just changed and put some new GP 5000s on my bike. So I had new fresh tires, had 80 PSI in the front and in the back, and the race is underway. So we are going through the start finish right now, and this is the completion of 1 lap. And right now I am sitting on 6:15, which I believe that's Paul. So this is Paul, who I'm sitting on right now, and we're making our way through turn number 1 of the second lap. And I ask that right now, if you have not yet subscribed to the Crit Wit Road Runner family, I ask that you would pause the video and do so, or you can just hover down over my logo in the bottom right and subscribe to the family. We are closely to 730 subscribers and on our way to 1,000. So I ask that you would subscribe to this journey. Started racing in March of 2018, and so I've been racing just over a year now. And so I ask that you would subscribe so you can see the video, see the different Hammerfest rides I do locally here in San Diego, Chula Vista area. And you'll also see a lot of different races that I do. If you're interested into that, I ask that you would subscribe. And I have some other ideas and some things up my sleeve that I want to present to you all. And so I ask that you would subscribe so that you can be a part of this journey with me. Right now, I'm currently sitting on Frank's wheel, and I met Frank actually through my videos. He commented and we hooked up at one, I believe it was CBR 207, and he just let me know his story. And he's an individual right here in front of me, 617, who you will see soon on the channel because his story is just as beautiful as mine of how he got into cycling. And so right now we're coming through the start finish again, and I apologize for the rain or the water on the screens, but it comes with the territory with the roads being wet, and the cameras are getting a little wet there. So again, we're making it through all this well right now. And I really like the GoPro Session 4. So shout out to GoPro for this amazing camera. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and a lot of people are using, the GoPro Hero 7 Black. They're using their personal cameras, the Sonys, the Canons, and different things like that. And I think I eventually want to go something of that nature for more of the selfie information in my videos. But for the most part, most of the footage that you guys see in this channel is taken by the GoPro Session 4, and I really like these cameras. And so that's what the front camera is, as well as the back camera. That is the GoPro Session 4. So right now you see I'm off the group a little bit. I was just currently sitting on Johnson and Doza's wheel of Paddock Racing Team. He's wearing their Stormtrooper inclement weather jacket, and he's off right there to the left over there as we're coming up this 3% climb. So this 3% climb right here, it really does tax the leg. And behind me I have Alejandro, and of course from watching the video you kind of see who sits on your wheel, you see who's around you a lot better than you actually do when you're racing. And so right here to my right I have the race leader in the gold jersey, Wes Watanabe of FLX Racing, and so he's currently the race leader, and we're making our way through turn number 4, heading to again the start finish. And this race was really interesting because it was cold out. I haven't really raced in the cold, haven't raced in the rain. And so this was really a learning curve for me, a learning experience for me. To add, the last time I was here at this course, as you guys probably saw the video, I actually placed 3rd in the category, I want to say the category 4 race. And then I did the 3-4 race after that and didn't place as well. So I did come into this race just a little bit, I don't want to say cocky, but confident. I got here, didn't get a good warm-up at all, and that's something to talk about. With this race, I've really even the more learned how vital it is to warm up. And I had a person from one of the local clubs here give me some really good information when it comes to warming up. Usually you should warm up anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes. But to have just a little bit more understanding, a little bit more data for your warm-up, you have to be mindful of what heart rate you're going to be in roughly the first 15 to 20 minutes of your race or your event. And that heart rate you need to target at hitting several times within a warm-up. And reason being, and I always like to use the straw analogy, you have blood pumping through your veins. So the vein will be a straw. And as we all know, there's different type of straws out there. You have coffee stirrer straws, you have boba straws, you have regular straws. And so each one of those straws are different diameters. And so when you're normally, doing everyday activities, you're walking, you're getting up, going to get this, going to get that, your veins are probably more like a coffee stirrer straw. And so just really quick to give a shout out to people. So number 602 around me, that is Jonathan right here in front of me right now. So sitting on Jonathan's wheel. But getting back to the story, so you have the stirrer straw, you have the regular straw, and you have the boba straw. And so of course the boba straw being the biggest of all 3, you have the coffee stirrer straw, which is the thinnest of all 3. Your veins are, and I'm sitting currently on Lewis's wheel right here, but you have the different diameters of straws. And so what happens is when you don't get a good warm up, your veins are still roughly the size of a coffee stirrer straw. But once you begin your activity, once you begin the race, your heart begins to pump at, as you see right here, 169 beats per minute, and your heart is trying to pump as much blood as it can because of the requesting of it needing from your muscles from the activity. So your heart's trying to pump this blood through stirrer straws. Well, in turn, it taxes your body because your veins are not warmed up. They're not as pliable to be able to expand to allow more blood to go through them. So your heart is working hard, trying to push blood through coffee stirrer straws or through not warmed up veins. So once you get into warm up and understanding the vitality of a good warm up, what that does is it will heat up your body. It will actually probably relax the veins, cause some flexibility in your veins so that they can go from being a coffee stirrer straw to being like a regular size straw, which is a little bit bigger, and to possibly even, not to over exaggerate the process, but to be able to take large pumps of blood through your veins to provide them and supply them to the muscles in the essence of going through a boba type of straw. And if you've never had boba before, just stop at a local Thai restaurant or a place that sells boba, and you will see that the reason why the straws have to be so big is because the boba at the bottom of the cup is a larger diameter, which needs to come up through the cup if you want to take part in that. And so just to utilize that as an example, this race, because it was colder, I needed a longer warm up to allow my veins to be more flexible, to allow larger pumping of blood through them. Because it was cold out here, did a lot of constricting because I wasn't warmed up. That did a lot of constricting, so that hindered me here in this race. So right now you see I'm sitting on Lewis's wheel, but we're only going 27 miles an hour. I have Alejandro on my wheel. My heart rate's at 172. Cadence is fluctuating between 80 to 90, sometimes around 60, and even 0, just allowing my legs to recover because I didn't get a good warm up. And even with it being cold like this, I now know that I have to probably get a good hour to hour and a half of a warm up in. And it doesn't mean I'm out there killing myself for an hour and a half. It's just getting the body going, warming up the body before this activity. So this was a grand learning curve for me, and because of that I struggled in this particular race. So right now still sitting on Lewis's wheel, and even being a bigger guy, it's a lot more body I have to warm up. So be mindful of what videos you're watching. Be mindful of the size of the person whose video you're watching, because I've learned so much when it even comes to racing styles, that there's not a lot of guys that are posting videos that weigh over 200 pounds. There's not a lot of guys that that are Clydesdales that are sharing this type of footage. So I ask that if you are a larger rider or an even racer, I ask that you would please subscribe to this, because I really want to share with you life behind bars on two wheels, specifically for larger riders. So right here to my 1 o'clock, or actually my 12 o'clock right now, we have Jorge, and he's a new racer as well, but he's been placing very, very well, and he's consistently rocking that Rafa kit, and I really like the Rafa gear. It's just so clean and nice looking. So I got Johnson and Doza there to my 10 o'clock. I got Lewis at my 12 o'clock. I got Jorge to my 1 o'clock. And so we're making our way. And you see I have guys behind me. We had I think a junior team out here. They were represented really well. They had about 4 or 5 riders in this race. And you see one of the guys there on my rear view camera. I have here Jonathan, which was right there on my left, which is actually right here on my left. That's Jonathan. So again, yes, I tried to get everybody's numbers that I could to provide them with their names in this actual commentary video. There's Mike Starr right there just in front of Jorge with the black kit on, who is also Wes Watanabe's teammate. And so again, here's one of the junior teams right here just to my 11 o'clock, number 616. And so they had a good showing, but I notice how I really I cover a lot of ground in these climbs. Sometimes you'll see that I'm disconnected, and then I'll be able to connect back up with the group when it comes to the climb. And so right now we're about halfway in this video, and so we're just making our way. And you see we got gentlemen out of the saddle making it up that climb, and I think because it was cold, usually when we get a good warm up and everything is warm, we really don't start having to come out of the saddle unless the pace is really high. You see the pace is right now only 21 miles an hour, and my heart rate was really well, but the problem was that because my heart wasn't beating so fast or so hard, but yet I was so cold, it was almost like a counterproductive thing. My heart wasn't beating as hard, my body was still cold, so my body was yet suffering in the midst of this race. I had a rain jacket on. I don't think I wore gloves. I did have glasses on, but at the same time, this race really helped me it frustrated me, yes, but it also helped me to realize the body really is, specifically for me, I'm gonna say it's like an older car. Sometimes older cars need longer times to warm up before you actually put that bad boy in drive and carry on about the day. These newer vehicles, you start it up and you can go. But the older vehicles, you have to let that thing sit there and idle. You have to let it warm up. And those of you that are watching this video, you know that information. So I'm not trying to talk down to anyone, but it's just, again, bringing concepts and bringing ideas and understandings to help me get better as a criterium racer, so that I can have better results when it's all said and done. But again, this race particularly, which was my first time racing in the cold, rain, and there was lessons learned. And also with my result, with my finish, it was yet a lesson learned, because again, it was something that I do not want a whole lot of. So again, right here, you see I'm just a little bit disconnected from the group, but again, I make it up, in the climb, because again, we slow down. We're going 25 miles an hour. Heart rate is at 165. pushing out over 500 watts just to make it up this hill. And you see here I'm on a Goodwill 618, I believe that's Tristan, and we're making our way. He's riding with SC VELO, and a lot of these teams are Northern California, not Northern California teams, but they're a lot more northern than I am, living here in Chula Vista. So you have 615 right there, that is Paul. And so again, we're just making way. So I think I'm up closer to the front right now. And I got, again, some of the junior team on my wheel, and there's a little bit of a gap in front of me. And that's something that I'm consistently trying to work on, because I really have this conflict in my brain about coming out the saddle to get back on a wheel, or trying to just, stay seated and power up and pull up and get on that wheel. Because again, it's all about power conservation. If I come out the saddle, I'm going to easily, so you see right here in front of me, there's the team right there, that junior team. But if I come out of the saddle, I'm going to easily push over 400 watts, which I may need that 400 watts later on in the race. So for me, sometimes it is that inner battle of, do I come out of the saddle to jump back on a wheel, or do I stay seated and hopefully I can just power up, utilizing the power that's needed to get back on that wheel, versus coming out of the saddle and expending wattage, that is expending unnecessary wattage. So just again, these are things that go through my mind as I'm racing. So right now you see we have a line underneath, but we have a group on a few guys on the outside. So I was trying to decide which group I was going to go with, because knowing we needed to go outside, inside, outside when going through turn number 3 right there. And so I kind of just held my line. So I really wasn't on anybody's tire, but at the same time, we were going downhill. So I was able to maintain my momentum. And as you see right now, I'm right here with the pack as we're coming up the 3% climb, and it's even 4%, 5% is telling me right there on the grade. So now I need to change my perception of this climb, because it actually goes up to 5%, not just 3%. And one thing that I've learned too, on some of these climbs, they actually get steeper before they actually plateau. And so that's something that you can be mindful of when it comes to conserving your energy, by trying to keep your wattage lower at the lower portion of the climb, because you know that it's going to get steeper at the end, and then you can kind of do a trade-off with throwing down a little bit more watts at the end versus at the beginning. Or you can try to come into a climb with more momentum, so that momentum can carry you further up the climb, so that you don't have to waste any, again, unnecessary wattage. So right now I am just tucked in. We are sitting, we just came through the start finish again, and we are currently at 17 minutes in this video. So we roughly have just over 5 minutes left of this video. I have Louis on my wheel, and again, I ask that you, if you've made it this far in the video, that you will please subscribe to this family. And as I explained to you, it's just a journey of life behind bars on 2 wheels. For a crit racer, the highs and the lows, the drops and the DNFs, the podiums, as well as local rides here in San Diego, Chula Vista area, as well as some upcoming, hopefully, product reviews, unboxings, as well as some different viewpoints and perspectives on some things in the local areas, as well as just sharing with you my journey. So if you like stuff like that, I ask that you would please subscribe to this family. But as you see right now, I'm getting off the back again, and when this consistently happens to me, I know that I'm struggling. When I'm not consistently staying with the group, but yet I'm consistently having to try to jump back on the back of the peloton, that I'm not doing good, that I'm not in a good place. And so I knew that that's what's happening. And you see again, once we're in this climb, 3%, 4%, 5%, I'm connecting back with the group again. And this consistently happened, but it was also letting me know that I was struggling. Even though my heart rate's only at 176 and we're only going 18, 19 miles an hour, and my cadence is at between 80 and 90, I knew I was suffering. And again, I contributed to the not warming up, as well as it being cold, it being rainy and wet. All those things just really added up on me, and I didn't have an excuse at the end of it. If you've seen the video that I've already uploaded about CBR number 6 of 7, you will see in that vlogger video that I pretty much stated no excuses. Like, I have nothing to say. But now, sitting here and watching the video, playing it back, going through it and watching over it, I see there's a lot of things that I did not take into consideration when I was preparing for this race. And so I share that with you, that sometimes you have to not just look at the course in and of itself. You have to also look at the environment, look at the atmosphere, look at the weather, look at the wind. And you have to take that all into effect as well, so that you can present yourself to be better for the specific race. So right there, you just saw Louis and you saw Alejandro fly past me. You see here in the rear camera, that vehicle back there is actually the motorcycle, the official. So I'm the last rider right as of right now, and you see that there's a little bit of guys in front of me. You see they're already going through turn number 3 to go into that 3 to 5% climb. And I'm out here by myself. But again, what did I consistently do? I consistently caught up with the groups in these climbs, and you will see that's going to happen here shortly, that I'm going to catch up with them in this climb or out of this climb. And because of my training, I am getting a lot stronger when it comes to climbs and it comes to these little things like this. Yes, I am a rider that's over 200 and something pounds, but at the same time, I do believe and I do feel that I hold myself, or I carry myself really well when it comes to these short little small little rollers. But to do that over and over and over again, because I am a larger rider, it does tax me a lot more than it taxes other guys. You know, you see me, I'm hitting anywhere from 600 to 800 to even 1,000 watts sometimes in these climbs, when other riders may only be hitting 400 watts, 500 watts. But again, you have to be mindful of how much we weigh. And so as you see, coming through the start finish, didn't catch them like I thought I would catch them, but I did catch them following the start and finish. So I caught up with Louis. So I jumped on his wheel for a little bit. And again, we're only going 22 miles an hour. So we're coming through turn number 1. And this is really getting to the end for me. We're at 21 minutes in this video. And this is really getting to the end for me. As you see, we're disconnected. The Peloton is still up there in front of us. We can see the Peloton. And that's all. Sometimes that is also like carrot for a turtle. You know, it's bait. It gives me something to push for. But even though my mind wanted to go and my heart wanted to get there, because my heart rate was not too high. Again, 184 to 188 is when I really start feeling it and kind of start plateauing. So I wasn't in that range yet, but yet my body was not responding to my head or my heart. So you see here we got Louis out of the saddle in this area, which most of us are in the saddle in this area. And you see the Peloton going through turn number 3 right there. So I'm sitting on Louis' wheel, and we're coming to turn number 3 right now. I'm going outside so I can carry momentum through the inside and back outside again, jumping on his wheel, but he's slowing down. We have Alejandro here slowing down as well as I come up this climb. So you see here, we got Louis jump. He's out of the saddle, standing on my wheel. I believe I'm sitting doing this, and I'm dropping him even as we're going through this last turn. And it's just because it was cold. It was inclement. We weren't prepared for. We probably even didn't get a good, he probably didn't get a good warm up like I didn't. I was close to the Peloton. You see they slowed up again. They're just now going through turn number 4, and I'm going through turn. So I'm very, very close. In my mind, I wanted to catch them, but as you see here, I was officially dropped at this point. Like, if I didn't catch them at this point, I was not catching them, because after they go through the start finish, it speeds up. They're going to speed up again. And if I'm hurting now, you see my heart rate's at 184, which I'm in that range of not making it. So they had 4 laps to go. What you will see now is my final turn and then me getting pulled. So right there, you saw me. I went through the final turn, and actually in this video, my mom was at the race. So, Mom, thank you for coming. And she was like, dig, 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 dig. And the race and the commentators, they was like, what is that chirping noise? But that was my mom saying, dig, 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 dig. As we come up to the start finish, they blow the official blows the whistle, tells me to come off the course. So now I'm officially dropped and pulled. Hey guys, thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. On to the next one with your boy C-Dub, aka Crit Whit. Peace.